Hi everyone, welcome back. My name is Andrea. I'm the Knitting PT, and this is my corner of the internet where I share about all my things about knitting, crocheting, spinning, all the crafty fiber things. I'm an orthopedic physical therapist, and I share maker self-care reels on Instagram, now TikTok, and here on YouTube to help you as a maker keep your body pain-free so you can craft for longer. All right, I think that's got to be the smoothest intro I've ever done, and I'll probably never have it again. Anyway, welcome back. I am back now after 3 weeks off. I have a bunch of things to share with you, and if you stick around to the end, I will also be giving you an unbiased review of a pillow that I received recently to review. Or I didn't receive it recently. I received it over a month ago, and I've been using it every day for a month. And I will be giving you my thoughts and opinions on it, and whether I recommend it or not at the end of the video. So stick around till then if you would like to see that. There will also be a discount code down below that you can use to get 15% off this pillow. Okay, so to start off with, what am I wearing? I am wearing the Salty Air sweater. This is a design by Samantha Guerin. I test knit for her earlier this year, and the pattern is now out. It's been out for about 2 weeks, I think. So the link will be down below. So anything I talk about, I will also link in the description box below. So you can go down, click see more to see all of that. And so this is a Salty Air sweater. I really love it. I've actually worn it a lot since I finished it. I went to a retreat in Kansas City, Missouri 2 weeks ago, and I wore it then, and I've kind of worn it out and about since then. It's super comfortable. So as you can see, it is a lace yoke that has a little raglan at the end, which I think really just umps the fit of this like all the way up, like top-notch fit. I think I mentioned in my last episode that with circular yokes, I sometimes have this trouble where they feel like they're dragging or they're constricting around my shoulders. And this one doesn't feel like that at all. I think it's partially because of the raglan. The raglan makes it fit underneath your underarms the way it should be. And also, so there's no like extra fabric underneath there too. So this is very comfortable. I am knit mine in Camellia Fiber Company in the Yak DK base, which is 65% merino, 20% silk, 15% yak. And it is very soft. It is very drapey. So I'll stand up so you can kind of see the movement of the fabric a little bit. It's super drapey, and it's warm, but the silk content also kind of helps it keep a little cool too. It's been pretty perfect for wearing for this transitional weather that we've been having as we're slowly edging into spring a little bit. Yeah. But I really love this pattern. I did tubular cast-offs, bind-offs for everything. Collar, hem, and cuff. Oh my gosh. I did tubular bind-offs for all those, and you know, I was usually someone who would never do a tubular bind-off, but I will do it now, depending on the project. Yeah. But yeah, I really love it. I just really love it. I did the full sleeve version, so she gives two different sleeve options. One is a fitted tapered sleeve, and one is a full sleeve where you just do a rapid decrease at the end. And I went with the full sleeve. If you've watched me before, you'll know that I don't like having constricting sleeves. I don't like to have any sort of either negative or zero ease in my sleeves. I usually like to have positive ease, so this was perfect for me. Yeah, and the colorway I used is Matcha from Camellia Fiber Company. You can see that darkness throughout. That's from the yak fibers, and there's a slight halo to it too. Yeah, but I could not say enough good things about this pattern and the yarn. It was a perfect match. I love it so much. All right, and I'm also going to kind of apologize ahead of time. My voice is a little hoarse. I'll be kind of taking breaks to drink things, and don't worry, I'll edit those out. But I'm still recovering from like a slight cold / allergy situation going on, so my voice is a little hoarse. So bear with me for that. All right, first up is finished projects. So I've got one finished project to share with you all this week. I honestly did not think I would ever finish this, but I did. And I'm really glad because I've already gotten to worn it a few times. It is my Doppio sweater. So this is a pattern by Sung-Hee Knits, and it is kind of like, what gauge would I call this? Like Aran weight gauge? I think the gauge is like something like 18 stitches to 4 inches, something like that. But for this pattern, you hold multiple strands of yarn together to create like a kind of Aran bulky weight thing. So I held 3 strands of yarn together. One was a fingering treehouse knits in truffle cashmere, which is kind of like that fuzziness you can see. And then I held that with Woolberry Sport in the colorway Book Club, which is actually the kind of shiny bits coming out here. And then the base of all this is All Is Calm on Berry DK Cashmere, which is the dark blue. So you can see together it created this beautiful kind of teal dark blue fabric that has a slight fuzziness to it from the truffle cashmere. Yeah, we are getting a ray of sunlight coming in. Okay. So yeah, so I really love this. To note about this pattern, it is a compound raglan, which means that you can see the slight curve of that raglan there. It is so dark, I don't even know if you're seeing it. Yeah, so, but there's a curve to the raglan, which just means that instead of being straight, every other row increase raglans, it is different depending on kind of like the curve it's graded for, the curve of a shoulder. So instead of just being like a straight line out like that, it curves a little bit, which results in a better fit, especially with such a dense fabric. That also means less fabric bunching underneath your underarms. And that is true. I wore it the other day. It got cold the other day. I think it was in the 30s to 40s. So I wore this underneath a winter jacket, and it actually did not feel like it was super tight at all. So that was great. I have a folded over collar here. And yeah, I don't believe I did any other modifications. I did decrease for the sleeves according to pattern a bit because, again, the fabric is denser, so I didn't want so much fabric. And because it is a larger gauge, I have no issues with the sleeves feeling tight. But yeah, I'm super happy about this finish. I don't know if I would knit this again. I mean, I would love to knit again. But honestly, knitting 3 strands at a time on a large gauge on US 10 needles, my hands did not love it, which is why it took me so long. I had to take a lot of breaks. I couldn't knit on it for a long period of time. I do love the finished fabric. It's a great way to use a lot of yarn in your stash. Like this took seven skeins of yarn total. So that was awesome. And actually that brings my count of finished skeins used for the year to 22 out of 100. Which is not bad considering we're almost a quarter of the way through the year, and you know, a quarter of 100 is 25. So I'm pretty close and pretty on track. So that's pretty good. Yeah. So I do recommend this pattern. Like Sung-Hee writes beautiful patterns that fit really beautifully with a lot of thoughtful design details. If the next time I make one, I probably need to, again, not give myself a deadline. I mean, I didn't have a deadline for this, but I didn't want to finish before winter ended because I wanted to wear it this year. And just know that I'm going to be slow about it, which is okay. You know, making with our hands is supposed to be slow. We're supposed to enjoy that process. So I did do that. Like, you know, I'm glad I didn't do this as a test knit because then I would have had a lot of pressure on myself to really get it done quickly. Sorry, I have a hangnail, so I'm looking at. Yeah, but overall, I'm really happy with it. I do recommend this pattern. Yeah, it just... If you're like me and you don't like knitting on US size 10s, it might just take you a bit. All right, another finished project I have is a spinning project. So here it is. This is a little hank skein of yarn that I spun. This is merino and mulberry silk blend. I don't really know the percentages. I mixed 2 different things. So the bits that are like yellow and pale peach and pinkish are from Yoni Makes, from a fiber bat I bought from her. And there's only 1.2 ounces of fiber in that. So then I got some nest fiber. Is it nest fiber? Yeah, I think it's nest fiber. And she had some little 1 ounce balls. It came in like a group of 6 different colors. 1 ounce, 6 1 ounce little like balls of fiber. And it was also mulberry and merino. So I wanted the same blend because I didn't really want to mix it. So there was a pink in there, so I spun up the pink and then applied them together. And this is what I got. Yeah, it's super soft. Yardage wise, I can't remember. I have to look at my notes, but I think there's only 200 and something yards in this. And it's definitely kind of like DK light worsted-ish. I'm still working on the consistency of my spinning. Like you can see here, like there's some plies that are thicker than others for sure. And the other thing was, from what I've heard, merino is slipperier to spin as well as silk, and this was merino and silk. So, I did struggle a little bit in the beginning with how to handle the fibers, but I had the hang of it a little bit. So I think what I'm going to do with this, I'm going to make a little like scarf or something for my daughter so she can stop stealing mine. Also, because these colors are very her, they're not really me. So I think she'll really like it. She really did like the yarn. So I'll make her a little scarf thing with this that she can wear and stop stealing mine. All right, on to works in progress, of which I have a lot. Okay, we're just kind of going in random order here. I have a giant pile next to me and it's all like messy and yeah. Okay, so first off, I have not really made any more progress on this pattern, but I wanted to show you it halfway. This is Tino the wolf. This is him stuffed. So he is a little wolf, a wolf dog, as we're calling him in my house, that I made for my son. He needs clothes. He's quite naked. But yeah, look how cute he is, all stuffed. Look at his little snout. Yeah. So yeah, he's got a long tail. So I've got to make his clothes. His clothes consist of pants, a sweater, and a crossbody bag. So I've got to make them. I've just really been putting it off. I've just not really been feeling motivated to work on this that much, and my son's in no rush really either. So yeah, we'll get to it. We'll get to it. This is Tino. This pattern's from the Moosh and Friends book too. And if you are hesitant about making a knitted toy, but you really want to, I do recommend this book a lot because it really holds your hand through everything. The tutorials are great. The pictures are great. Steps are great. It is really very in-depth. It is, sometimes, knitting books can be quite expensive. I think this one retails for almost maybe $30 US, maybe. I could be wrong, but I think it's around that cost. And I will say it is worth every penny. It is really an awesome book. Really great at holding your hand through doing it. I don't think I've ever made a knitted stuffed toy before. I've done crocheted stuffed toys, but I've never done knitted. And so I was a little daunted by it, but honestly, that book will get you through it. It'll hold your hand. It is awesome. So I do highly recommend the book. All right, next up on works in progress I wanted to share. Let's see. I'm going to try not to share some of my long-term ones that haven't seen a lot of progress. So I'll just show you the main ones I've been working on. So one of them is I have Caston for a Knitalong. This Knitalong is hosted by Unit 2, a yarn shop in Toronto. They reached out and very kindly gifted me the yarn for this and the pattern. But otherwise, I'm not paid or anything. They just gave me the yarn and pattern. There is a code if you would like to get 50% off the pattern. If you want to join the Knitalong yourself, that code is TheKnittingPT. I don't know if I'm saying it right. I'll have it down in the description box below. But I'll give you 50% off the pattern. And here is my progress so far. So the pattern is and I realize this is not the best way to show you, but oh well. It is a colorwork pullover, and it's got kind of little flowers, and the flowers get bigger as you go down the yoke. And the main color is this golden yellow, and then the contrast color is this sandy beige. And so the yarn I'm using for this is Sandnes Garden yarn, and the base is Double Sunday, and it's their collaboration with Petite Knit. It's Double Sunday, it is DK weight, and it is 100% merino. They come in 50-gram balls, and what else to say? I think that's it. It's non-superwash, which is nice, and it's actually really soft for non-superwash too, and it's muslin free. So the colors I'm using, this kind of like burnt yellowish color is called croissant, and then the sandy beige is almond. Yeah, so I've been working away on this. It's actually really fun. It's a really fun knit. Yeah, so that's one of my works in progress. I'm really excited to keep working on it. Yeah, and you'll see there's a theme with the color choices I've been going with. I seem to be out of my blues a little bit. Because the next one I have is a test knit for Samantha Guerin. This is for the Springline Tee. And I am just at the beginning right now. I'm just working on the back panel right now. As you can see, it's mostly stockinette with lace panels that go on the sides of the body, like down the sides here. And that lace panel is so pretty. And you can see this color is also, this color is called Toffee Chip. It is from Woolberry Fiber Co. And it's actually, this is Berry Cormo, which is a base that has not really been back because, from what I understand, the mill that Bethany got it from hasn't really been producing it since. And I got this probably like close to 2 years ago when they had it. So this is Toffee Chip on Berry Cormo. It is 100% non-superwash US Cormo. It's fingering weight 420 yards for 100 grams. You can see, so you can see Cormo has a very interesting stitch kind of like definition to it. Let me grab a skein of just like regular merino here. Here. So if you look at this, this is just regular merino. And this is Cormo. So you can see Cormo has like a crimp to it, it looks like. And when it knits up, it also looks very different. So I'll show you my stockinette fabric here. Look at that. So you can see the stitches have kind of like a twisted look to them or something. They're just kind of like fuzzy-ish looking. They're not really, you know, neat and tidy the way stockinette on merino is, which is fine. It's the kind of the way it's supposed to be. But you can see it's like got a little bit of a woollier look to it, but it's very soft. Like, as you all know, I'm very sensitive with my skin. I cannot do mohair or alpaca blends of anything. And so with this Cormo, it's actually very soft to me. Yeah, which is good. I've held like Corey Dale yarn before. And Corey Dale, I think, is a little bit too toothy for my skin to handle for next to Skin Soft. But Cormo, which is a sheet that's a blend of merino and Corey Dale, I think that is good enough for me. So yeah, I'm really excited to keep working on this. Let me show you these stitch markers. These are from Reshma of Hello Lavender. This little quilt kind of looking. And actually, I realized that I really kind of took inspiration perhaps from this with the colors of my recent knits. A little flower that goes with it. Yeah. So that's another work in progress I've been working on. Another one. We'll just stick with the color blend I've got going here. This is another knit along. As you can see, I've joined quite a lot of knit alongs lately. This is a knit along for Woolfolk yarns. And I am in the middle of a row right now too, but this is the back panel of a dress. That's right, I am making a dress. I may live to regret this decision, but we'll see. This is in their Flet base, which is DK weight boucle yarn. And the dress I'm making is called a drum dress. And yeah, and it has pockets, which is super cool. But yeah, so Woolfolk also gifted me the yarn and the pattern for this knit along. But yeah, so I'll show you a skein of it. So this is Woolfolk Flet. I've worked with Flet bulky from them before. This is the first time I'm working with Flet. I have to say, in terms of boucle yarn, so I have lots of boucle yarn. I am currently, have a long-term work in progress that is a boucle cardigan and boucle from Explorer Knits and Fibers. I've used boucle from other indie dyers, and they pretty much all get them from the same place, I think, from my understanding. But the boucle yarn that Woolfolk has is a lot softer. Like, don't get me wrong, the boucle from the other indie dyers is soft too, but this is like next level soft. Next level soft. Let me see. Maybe I can show you if I find another skein of boucle yarn that I have in here. There we go. So like you can see, this is boucle from Explorer Knits, and also this is double the yardage. Like, this is 100 grams, this is 50 grams. But you can even see like the Woolfolk Flet is like very drapey in comparison to the DK. Like, this is still soft, but this is like the difference. There is a big difference, is all I'm going to say. And that difference is reflected in price too, I think. Yeah. So this is the dress. We will see. I have 12 weeks to make it as part of the knit along. So we will see if I regret my decision. I have a love-hate relationship with boucle. Like, I love the finished product of whatever I make with boucle, but I don't really love knitting with it. It's not my favorite. I can't go as fast as I like to without hurting my hands. So yeah, and I am planning the next reel that I make, I am going to make one on tips on how to knit with boucle yarn without hurting your hands. So yeah, drawing inspiration from my life right now. So yeah, but otherwise, I'm really excited to see this. I'm going to basically look like a gigantic teddy bear and be cozy like a teddy bear. We'll see how long it takes my daughter to try to steal this. She's been trying to like steal my knits. She stole one of my scarves the other day, and another day another cowl. And then she was looking at, I forgot what. She was looking at something else. Oh no, she was looking at one of my bracelets, and she was like, when I get older, I'm going to take this. It's like, excuse me. So yeah, I'm going to bet she's going to want to try to steal this because it is super soft already. So yeah. All right. The last work in progress that I've been working on is another test knit. This one is for Amy Scher. And this is the weekday tee. So I tested the weekday pullover end of last year. And now she's coming out with a tee design. So I'm testing that as well. Here it is. Look how pretty it is. So I just did the sleeve cuffs, and I'm going to pick up for the collar next and do the collar. I like to have the sleeve and the collars, or at least I like to at least have the collar done for when I try it on to see how the fit is going, how long I want it to go. I find that when I have the collar done, then the garment will start to sit the way it's supposed to be. So yeah, so this is it so far. You can see it's got the lace panel raglan down the side, and the yarn I'm using is Ritual Dyes Undine Base, which is a fingering weight. It is, 60% cotton. Which weight is it? 60% organic cotton, 40% linen, 382 yards. Here's the band. This colorway is Prairie Flax. Yeah, so I'm really excited to have another summer knit in a summer fiber. Finished soon, hopefully. Yeah, and I do like this base. I will tell you, when I first held it in the skeins in my hand, it felt super dry. Like I was like, this feels like straw. But as I'm knitting with it, it's actually way more comfortable than I thought it would be. It doesn't feel as dry when you're knitting with it. So yeah, and I got this yarn as a gift from Kimchi & Co., my friend Megan. She gifted it to me, I think 2 years ago. So I'm really glad to finally be using it and to be trying a new to me base. Yeah. All right, so I did want to share one thing with you all before we move on to the pillow review. One of my good friends, Amy Scher, they are a designer also who I test knit for a lot. They opened I guess you call it like a yarn shop online. And they're specifically carrying yarns that will pair really well with their patterns, which I really love, right? Sometimes when you have a pattern you like, but you're not quite sure maybe what kind of yarn is best for it, they've taken the guesswork out of it for you. So when you go on their website and you look at it, either when you're looking at the patterns or when you're looking at the yarn, it'll tell you what they suggest works best together, which is really neat. So they sent me first a kind of preview box of some of the goodies they have, and then I also purchased a few things on my own. So I'll be showing the pictures up here because I've already put the tea away and everything. So they also are carrying Taiwanese Oolong Tea. Super exciting. If you don't know, I am half Taiwanese. And I'm very proud of that. And Amy's also Taiwanese. And so they have partnered with a Taiwanese tea company to stock Taiwanese loose leaf teas in their shop. And I might have bought all of them, like one of each kind. There are 4 different kinds. Yeah, really excited. So I will be, showing the pictures of here with all the boxes. But I did grab a few of the goodies to kind of show you all. So one of them is, right now there are 2 different yarns in the shop. There will be more as they continue to expand, but right now there's 2 offerings. One is Wool Dreamers in the sauna base. So this is a base that is, 50% wool, 50% cotton. It's 240 yards for a 50 gram ball. This is the colorway Ozetta. It's really pretty. It's just really pretty. Really pretty neutral. And I got some of this, and I'm planning on knitting a tank with it. Amy right now has a tank and testing that I'm not testing. I had good self-control this time with that. But it is, I think, technically called the Phoebe tank or something, but it's got some cables. And so that's what I'm planning to use for this when that pattern comes out. And then the other yarn that I purchased is Big Little Yarn Co. And this is in the organic wool linen fingering blend, which is 70% organic wool, 30% linen. It's a 3-ply fingering weight, 506 yards. Very generous yardage. So Big Little Yarn Co. is now based in Japan. So it is kind of hard to sometimes to get her yarns because shipping is very expensive. But now Amy is stocking some of their yarn in their shop. This is the colorway Matcha. Yeah, you can see lots of green going on here, both matcha colorways in both blends of things. So this actually feels quite soft to me. I know you can kind of see the linen bits sticking out a little bit, but yeah, it actually feels very soft. I got this to knit in Oolong Tank. And I'm very excited because the Oolong Tank, if you haven't seen it, is a tank top with a lace panel running down the middle. It's a slight V-neck too, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so I'm really excited. Oh yeah, here's the thing of it. So there's also a pin, and that is because they are running a make-along or a knit-along that has started already. It started this week, I think, and is running till I think the end of May, I believe. And so you can use hashtags on Instagram to tag them, and you'll be entered to win prizes or I think gift certificates to their shop. But basically, it's you knit any Amy Sure Makes pattern, and you'll be eligible to be entered for prizes. And there's this cute little pin that you can get as part of the knit, and that's the Oolong Tank there. Yeah. Some other things they sent me besides the tea that I bought. There's also some wool wash from Tufts Woolen Sock Soap. So this is a citrusy blend. It's called Citrus Grove. It smells really pretty, really citrusy and fresh and clean. Yeah, I really like it. I'm a little sensitive to scents, especially floral scents. Floral scents really make me like sneeze a lot, but I love citrus scents, and this one's perfect. And they also sent me a gauge ruler, which is perfect. I have a lot of measuring tapes and I'm always losing them, but I also appreciate sometimes a ruler because, sometimes like, I don't know if you have this problem. I have this problem where sometimes I'm measuring with a measuring tape and then just kind of like moves around, or it doesn't always seem very accurate, or I get different measurements sometimes. But I like that ruler. Sometimes you just need that ruler where it's going to be firm and you can just lay your fabric alongside it and look. Yeah, and I believe there's also a gauge ruler in there too, which I might get in the future. Yeah. So yeah, so I just want to share a few of those goodies, encourage you to go look at their shop and support them. Amy's just a wonderful human and beautiful designer, and she deserves all the success. All right, so lastly, I did want to talk about the pillow. So this pillow is from Zamet Home. So this pillow is called the Blue Dot Ultra Memory Foam Button Pillow. And it is made out of memory foam. And what I like about it is that there are different areas on the pillow. There's a head support pillow, which is in the middle where that blue dot is. And then on the sides where your neck goes, they call it a neck stretching area. So on there's like a slight kind of curve up so that when you lay on it, it kind of helps support the natural curve of your neck while also stretching it a little bit instead of letting your spine kind of like crunch down and curve into each other. There's a shoulder support area also for if you're a side sleeper, and there's an arm support area for you to kind of lay your arms on, or if you're a stomach sleeper, you can also put your arms there too. So I actually really like it. It does take a little bit of time to get used to it, like maybe a few days. But I've been using it consistently for a month now. I've really liked it. My neck feels great. I have continually tried a bunch of different pillows. I used to sleep on like one of those cube pillows. The memory foam ones are just like literally a cube. And those were pretty good for me, but sometimes if I didn't have my head on it the exact correct way, my neck did feel not well supported. And this pillow, I feel like really solves that problem with the slight kind of curvature to it. So with the pillow, if you buy it, there's a 100-night free trial. So, after 100 nights, if you feel like it's not really doing it for you, you can email them to get a refund. And there is a 10-year warranty that comes with a pillow also. So yeah, so, I do get questions a lot about pillows I recommend, and I generally don't always recommend pillows because every person is different and every person's body is a little bit different. But I would say if you're a side sleeper, especially, this pillow might be worth a try for you. It is, I know it's a little bit of a heftier price, but I have a code for you down below for 15% off. And I do think that it could be worth the investment, instead of buying a bunch of cheap pillows and having to swap them out over and over again. It's actually worked out really well for me so far. I really like it. So if you're interested, click the link in the description box below. And thank you, Zamet, for sending me the pillow to review. All right, that is it for this episode. Thank you for tuning in and thank you for watching. If you stuck around all the way through, drop any questions down below for me. In the meantime, if you would like to share maybe what you are thinking about making or what you are working on for spring or summer knitting, let me know below. Let me know down below. I definitely am starting to have spring teas and summer teas on the mind and starting to plan ahead. So I'd love to hear what you're working on too. Or maybe if it's still cold where you are, maybe you're still working on some cold weather knits, which is, I think, perfectly fine. I definitely have some works in progress that I'll be working on throughout the summer that are, pullovers and cardigans and that kind of thing. So thank you again, and I will see you all next time. Happy knitting.